Hey everybody, welcome back to RC with Adam. My name is Adam, and today what I want to do in this video is show you and tell you about this giant airplane that I built. The biggest one I built is called the GigaBAT, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So let's go ahead and roll the build montage, because it's pretty long, even though I sped everything up, like a lot. So let's just go over the specs here. Well, generally the fuselage, to give you kind of the size idea, is 5 feet long, and it's about, I don't know, over a foot tall in the midsection right here. Let's go over some of the components that I'm using here. The motor I'm using is a Emax Grand Turbo GT3520/05. This thing is pretty darn powerful, the largest motor that I have personally used, definitely. The propeller is a 12x6 electric propeller. It's got quite a bit of pitch to it. This baby can move. It also pulls some amps. The ESC, which you can just kind of see in here, is rated for 80 amps, 2 to 6 cell LiPo, and it has a 5 amp BEC. I'm using some pretty junky MG995 servos. I don't recommend those ones. They turned out to be pretty bad. And then I have a big old 6,000 milliamp hour 4 cell LiPo battery to power everything. The idea behind this airplane is that I wanted to make an even bigger version of an airplane that I made, which is an even bigger version of that one back there you can see behind in the background. It's called the BAT, stands for Backyard Airplane Trainer. And I just kind of came up with it, and I flew it a lot, and I took it to Flite Fest and things like that, and it just had a lot of success with it. So even though it's kind of a ridiculous design. So then I made a bigger one. It's called the GigaBAT, and then I turned that one into the Bubble Bomber, and I took that to Flite Fest 2 years ago. And then and then everybody was like, "Oh man, you got to make one bigger," and I was like, "Yeah, I do." So this past Flite Fest, I built this one. Well, I built it before Flite Fest. I built it for Flite Fest, and this one has an 8-foot wingspan. It's made out of pink XPS insulation foam. The fuselage is actually 1/2 inch, which is actually way too thick. This thing is pretty heavy, and that's part of why it is not a super great design. It's pretty cool, but like, yeah, it should definitely be heavier. I think I probably could have made this just using foam board and reinforced it in certain areas, and then also, or maybe just doubled up foam board. I don't know, that might have been lighter. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I think probably could have done some things to lighten it up, which would have been better. Anyway, just a couple things to note about this design. I did change it up a little bit. I ended up extending the nose by about a foot. So the entire design is scaled up 3.2 times larger than the original BAT. So it's not quite double what the GigaBAT was, because the GigaBAT was double the regular BAT. And so the GigaBAT is a little bit bigger. It's not quite twice the size of the GigaBAT. Just for simplification reasons. I mean, I guess I could have just made the wingspan, you know. Actually, wait. Yeah, it's not quite twice as large, but it's pretty close. So the, oh yes, right. So what I did with the fuselage, I actually extended the kind of the nose portion by a foot, because I wanted to give myself some extra room for nose weight, so that the moment arm, you know, for the motor and the battery, it could be farther forward, and then I would have less of a tail heavy condition, which historically this design has had, which is actually good if you want to do like 3D kind of stuff in the backyard and you wanted to fly really slowly. But when you scale it up, it just becomes too much tail weight for how much motor and battery you have at the front. And so, you know, so I figure instead of trying to add a bunch of nose weight, what I'm going to do is just extend it about a foot, and then I kind of angled it up towards the nose, just kind of for looks and to keep the propeller off of the ground. Originally, I was going to use this motor. This is a Racer Star BR4114 400 kV motor. It's quite large, and it's made Does sound a little funny actually. It's made to spin these 18-inch propellers, which is pretty cool because I thought like, oh, this will be great. I'll have this big old prop, and that's the other reason why the motor is so high up off the ground, because this thing is a belly lander. So it is going to slide along its belly, and so I needed to have enough space for the propeller to not hit the ground on landing. So that's one of the reasons why the fuselage is so tall. I ended up not using these propellers though, or this motor, because I was having issues with this motor, and also I don't think it would have been quite as powerful, well, it wouldn't have been quite as powerful as the Emax motor, and I think it just would not have been powerful enough, especially for how heavy everything was. It definitely would have been more efficient once everything got going, but I was having problems with this one when I was bench testing it, because the I don't know if it was the ESC timing or what it was, or if there's something going on with the wiring in this motor, because I basically had to get it going and build up some momentum, and then I could actually get the motor to run consistently and power it up. So I'll show that to you right now because it's kind of interesting. So I just decided to ditch this motor, and I went with the Emax motor, which was convenient because because Banggood sent that to me to test out. So I do have a review video of that motor, but I digress. So I did make a few design changes. Oh, another thing that I did was I tried to build a wing, like a special wing shape thing, and it was going to be kind of complicated and stuff. And basically it was a bad design, and so I made a smaller version of it. Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's bad. I decided to scrap that idea, and I just went with a very simple wing, just like the Bat normally has, which is basically a big old sheet that's cut at a few angles, and then a little step in the forward portion of it, like it's doubled up. And so what that does is it kind of acts as a airfoil, like a KF or Klein-Fogelman airfoil. Basically that it just kind of, it's like a step down, and then the idea is that the air kind of gets trapped right there, so it sort of smooths it out over the top. I don't think that really made that much of a difference, but what it really is there for is to act as a spar. So in the actual construction of the wing, one of the considerations was, well, I had to make it structurally strong, and then I also had to be able to fit it in my van and take it to Flite Fest, and I couldn't really do that if it was the full size. So what I did is I made the wing out of a single piece of 8-foot XPS foam, and then what I did, oh, and it's like an inch thick, so it's like really thick. And then what I did is I just cut down the middle like zigzag, so that way the wing wouldn't shift like forwards and backwards relative to each other. And then what I did is the top piece, or the little doubled up part, which is also an inch, I cut the middle section out so that I could basically glue the two wings together, and then put that spar piece on top. So that whole doubled up piece acts as the spar, and it connects the wings together. So it's just taped and glued together, which is actually really strong. Yeah, so that's the idea. So this thing is just really huge, and it's just something that I wanted to try and see if it would actually work. And it did. It worked pretty well, and it flew in one combat. So I'm just going to let you enjoy watching this maiden flights, and then the combat flight, the fatal combat flight at Flite Fest.
Maybe. What the heck?
Oh, it's so slow. Oh, let me take it out here.
Oh my god.
It's still kind of tail heavy.
You need some right rudder? Dude.
Oh, wow. I'm like at a lot of throttle right now. I'm at a lot of right rudder.
It's so slow.
Yeah, there's definitely some more weight than I wanted on here, but like I'm probably gonna smoke something. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Does it need any trim? You want me to help you? Or you
It
got
just, no, I just gotta kind of steer it.
Dang, dude.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Nice job, man.
Well, thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I mean, it's flying.
It's your design.
It's up there. Golly. I mean, the wings are staying on, so that's something.
It's so it's like a cloud.
It just it doesn't go into the wind very well, you know. Uh-oh. Okay, we're okay there. Yeah, it's like so slow.
Does it feel tail heavy still?
It does kind of feel tail heavy. Like, let me try and kind of, oh gosh, there's so much torque or something that it really wants to go to the left. I'm gonna try and bring it in to land. It just doesn't want to turn right very much, like at all.
Right rudder too.
Yeah. And now I'm getting kind of. Just gotta ease it in here.
You gonna land?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Landing
land.
right to left. Barely moving. Yeah, keep some throttle in there. You don't want to stall it. Oh my god. Yes.
Yeah. Woo. Man.
Good luck. Ready?
Yep.
That was almost too much pitch. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
Woo.
That is very fast.
Man, I just hope everybody else gets up by the time I'm
Oh, you got it.
by the time I'm out of battery.
I'm gonna have to take a few steps out in front of you.
Is that Stan? Does Stan get up there?
Go bat.
Oh, look at the plane with the arch. Look at the plane there.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think that helped a lot with the thrust angle.
Yeah.
Also the wind.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, Ben.
How long's your battery gonna last, you think?
I don't know.
It's so slow.
It's not going to last very long.
Now I can watch
That
you.
flies so slow.
It's funny because like I'm super nervous, but it's flying so slowly. Like it's not like.
Oh my god.
But I'm pretty much like at full power.
Look at that thing.
So I do, yeah. I'm just gonna try and just. Oh, look at that!
Oh, I got a close up of that.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Oh! Oh, one guy's fixing his wheel.
Oh!
Oh yeah!
Yes!
I stopped recording right as that happened.
How in the world?
What happened to the other guy?
It was a big wedge.
Oh! Oh!
It was a big wedge.
Oh! Oh! I can
Kill it.
Oh, yeah! Oh, wow. Oh, that's interesting.
Before you take it away, like, could I tell my dad, like, what happened? Like,
Yeah.
He got here about it. So first, like, it was going around, and first this plane crashed into that. I think he survived, but this one.
Yeah?
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Oh, was that you?
Yeah.
How could you?
But then
Dang.
I stalled because like I was just gliding into you.
I gotta find my other part with the servo.
Yeah.
It's here. It should be easy to find. It's like, oh, hey, look, see? It is easy to find. Hey, thank you. Awesome, you are awesome. Good job. Hey, look at that.
So this is the section of the wing that broke. The actual, like the foam is so very strong, especially with this tape. So you'll notice here that there's this seam running along here, and I taped over that and it did not break there. And there's a seam here and it did not break there. It just broke kind of right along, like a few inches away from where it meets up with the main spar. Well, the fate of the GigaBAT was not too spectacular, although that was a pretty spectacular crash. I rather enjoyed that. I hope everybody else at Flite Fest did as well, because that was kind of the point, was just to make this thing and see if it would even fly, and you know, have people enjoy just seeing it in the sky and just being an absurdly large pink giant mass floating in the sky. So in that regards, it was a major success. Special thanks to Ben and Marcus for helping me move that thing around and giving me encouragement and inspiration in building it, and just all the logistics and stuff trying to get it flying at Flite Fest. Thank you guys. And that does it for me. Thanks for watching. I hope this was entertaining to you, and if it was, that's great. I'll see you next time.
Packing tape is so strong.